Brandon Cutler here from AEW, and I hope you guys have an awesome podcast with the MonsterCast.
What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp, Fightful here. You're watching the MonsterCast with Jack and Ryan. A big shout out to those fellas. Good people. Check them out.
Here's your host of the MonsterCast, the Straight Edge Monster, Jack and Ryan.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the MonsterCast. Prediction sure to be wrong. AEW Full Gear is tonight. And before we get started on the predictions, we do want to mention here on this channel, and we will be posting this video on two different channels so that you guys will know. We have a new YouTube channel that you guys can go check out, where all of our straight MonsterCast stuff will be, and some other goodies along the way. But it is literally just MonsterCast, the MNC, capitalized, one word, and we also have the handle nailed down, the same handle as our Twitter, @RealMonsterCast. So you can find us either way on YouTube going forward. Can't wait to put all of our new programs on there. Will be fun. Got some things in the works as well to go on to that channel. So go check that out, subscribe to the channel, and watch along. But we will still be doing stuff live on Twitch, which you can also follow, and I will be posting those links in the description below on this channel as well, so you can follow us there live every Sunday on Twitch for the foreseeable future, unless things change and I want to start going live on YouTube until I figure that out and how to easily transition back and forth. I'm not really going to make that commitment just yet. I am rocking the Golden Elite shirt right now. You guys know they're coming back tonight. It's going to be a big deal against Death Triangle. But we are going to get into the 0 hour pre-show first for our predictions. Sure to be wrong. I am the Straight Edge Monster Jack, and of course, as always, this is Ryan. And here are our sweet predictions so far this year. Ryan is 53-33 overall prediction record, and I am 62-24. So he's got some ground to cover, but the great thing about AEW pay-per-views is there's plenty of chances to do so. What is it, like 13, 14 matches, right?
Yeah, something crazy.
I'm fine with it. I can't stand people that complain about quantity.
Why is it pay-per-view so long?
Why is it so long? They have 4 pay-per-views a year, bro. 4
I paid
fucking pay-per-views a year.
I paid $50, but I only want to watch it for an hour.
Exactly, yeah. What kind of sense does that make? And probably the people complaining about it probably aren't paying for it anyway, so that's really not people we need to be listening to. So I paid $50 for it. I want to watch as many matches as possible. No one's sitting there fucking complaining about 4 and 5 hour New Japan fucking pay-per-views every time they go, and they have fucking 4 matches that don't mean shit, that they're just Survivor match. Well, not even Survivor because it's not elimination, but 4-on-4 matches. So this, and then I saw somebody on Twitter. Let me go ahead and get this out of the way right quick, and we will have a show tomorrow, by the way, just so you know. The people that are, there was one dude that I went back and forth with. Well, I don't think I really went back and forth. He never answered me after I asked him a question. Of course, that's usually how it goes when they don't have an answer. But he was like, "Oh, come on, man! You can't tell me that there's 14 stories here." I'm like, "Yes, I can. Just because you don't like the stories, or because the stories are not as in depth or pushed as to your liking, doesn't mean there's not 14 stories for these fucking matches. You don't have to like them all.
Literally a story for each one.
Literally a story for each one. Literally a story for each one. Watch the countdown to AEW Full Gear, bro. There's literally a story for each one. Whether that story is short or long, you want to debate that, that's fine. But this is not a fucking Saudi Arabia show where we're just throwing random shit out there. These do all 14 or 13 or whatever it is, have stories behind them. Now, am I going to say that the Jade and Nyla story is mesmerizing or fucking groundbreaking? No, it's really not that great of a storyline in the scheme of things, but has it been going on for a long time? Is it a story that they've been telling for a while? Is it a story behind the match? Yes. Yeah. So there's a difference between, oh, there's no build, there's no story, and hey, I'm not really into this. So make up your mind. If you're saying that there's no story to each one of these matches, you haven't been watching. Like, you literally tell on yourself that you have not been watching the fucking product. And that's not an AEW Dark or an AEW Dark Elevation issue either. Like, you literally have not been watching Dynamite and Rampage.
Yeah. The match that has, I think, the weakest story out of all of them is probably Sting and Darby Allin versus Jarrett and Jay Lethal. But even then, Allin and Lethal have had interactions in the past, and Jarrett and Sting are playing up their whole history thing, I guess. So, it's not the greatest story, but it's there. Other than that, everybody has a pretty fucking solid reason to be in the match. So I don't know what that person's talking about. That's stupid.
Yes, I am the prediction champion. That's why you see the belt underneath my name, but I am rocking the elite shirt. Back to the regular black shirt for old Death Triangle over there. He didn't want to rock the Death Triangle shirt today, baby, because he knows he's losing them titles. They're losing them titles tonight, son.
They're probably not going to exist anymore after today.
I was saying the same thing. I was saying the same thing, dude.
We'll
Christine was like, how are they going to lose? How are they going to lose? I said, Pac and Lucha Bros have been having some dissension with this hammer situation. Yep. They're about to implode.
Pac's going to try to use the hammer. Phoenix is going to stop him. They're going to lose. Pac is going to flip out and say, you made us lose the belts, and that's it.
And not only that, then we insert Bandito, baby. Let's insert Bandito in there. By the way, we always had the conversation back in the day, right, about Claudio being the strongest pound for pound fucking person. I'm going to have to give some props to Bandito. That motherfucker is strong as shit. For how big he is, or how small he is, I should say.
Right.
He is fucking strong as shit, dude. It's crazy.
Yeah, his whole 1 minute vertical suplex. Yeah. All right. I think Claudio's still stronger, but yeah, he's done some impressive stuff for sure.
Yeah, so the other issue with that is the fact that, like, you look at somebody like a Brian Cage, who's like obviously super strong, but for pound, like actual strength, like going against someone else, like not weight room strength. We're talking about just like straight up strong. Brian Cage Brian Cage is it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing, dude. It's really not. I promise you, it's not.
It's the same thing.
It's not the same. It's not the same strength.
Okay. Between you and I, which one of us do you think deadlifts more?
Fuck if I know.
Yes,
I haven't deadlift since high school.
Right, and I deadlift 415 regularly.
Okay, so what is your point?
So between you and I, which of us do you think is functionally stronger?
But I'm just saying it doesn't. I'm not saying that every fucking situation is that way, though. You're assuming that every situation is that way. Not every situation is that way.
It is.
It's really not.
If you are able to move a weight, okay, you are able to move weight in the same way. It's your ability to apply force to an object and manipulate that object, whether that object is a fucking bar or a human being or a bed or a couch or whatever. It might be a little bit more awkward to grab and hold or whatever, but it's the same shit. Like, you'd still engage in the exact same stabilizing muscles, it's engaging in the exact same primary muscles. When people talk about things like functional strength, what they're really talking about is the ability of your stabilizer muscles to handle certain weights. So when you're talking about things like Smith machine lifts versus like free weight squats, so that your stabilizers are less engaged on like a Smith machine squat than a free weight squat, because on the Smith machine, it's doing some of the stabilizing for you. But they've done studies on this. The difference is not that significant, and even still, most people don't actually use the Smith machine for free weights anyway. So when you're talking about like weight room strength, it's literally the same thing. Like there's no difference.
I disagree.
Okay. I mean, that's fine.
Just from watching a wrestling match and watching some big strong motherfucker that can't move or can't scratch the middle of his back going in there, he can't do the same shit strength wise that Claudio Castagnoli can do.
Mobility and strength are two different things. So Claudio's able to do a lot of shit because he's more mobile. It's not because he's more strong. Now, pound for pound, if you were to compare them by weight class, is he going to be the strongest person in his weight class by far? Absolutely. But does he have the highest lifts there? Probably not. Is he able to lift the most there? Probably not. Is he able to hold up the most weight there for the longest amount of time? Probably not. But pound for pound, is he the strongest? Yeah, maybe, probably.
Okay, so
But
for,
it's
man, I mean, I'm telling you, Bandito's close. Bandito's got to be
yeah,
close. He did that
yeah,
shit with Jericho.
that-
That suplex with Jericho.
yeah. Um, yes, that's true. But also, you have to remember in wrestling, there is that element of assistance from the person that you're
No,
working
I
with.
totally agree with
So,
that.
so Jericho is bracing himself too on his leg for stability. So it's not exactly the same as like if you were to try to hold up somebody. It's not, it's still very.
No,
Don't get
credit
me
to
wrong, it's
Jericho too, because like at
super
his
fucking
age,
impressive.
he had to keep the balance up and keep his
Right.
feet in the air too. Like I'm not
Yeah.
discrediting Jericho. I'm just saying it would be harder to do with a 50-year-old Jericho than a WCW Jericho. So
Yeah. No shit.
Bandito's feat of strength was still very impressive and was not expected at all in that match for me, honestly. And I've seen Bandito matches before. I've never seen him do the suplex thing personally. He definitely didn't do it at All In, I don't believe.
I don't think so
Um,
either.
but yeah, it's crazy. All right, let's get into
Yeah.
the actual matches here. Thank you guys for watching us on the YouTube channel and hopefully now the new YouTube channel. Let's get into the 0 hour pre-show. We've got 3 matches. We're going first off the dream match, Eddie Kingston versus Jun Akiyama. Now we mentioned dream matches, I believe, on our last show that we did a
Mm.
couple of weeks ago. Here we go again. Here's another dream match. Definitely in Eddie Kingston's eyes, right? So uh, you could tell by Rampage last night that they were clearly building this up because they barely interacted with each other during that match. It was basically like a little preview. And the funny thing is like going into that match, I was like, damn man, kind of sucks that Eddie's not going to get a one-on-one with them. That's what I was thinking, and I was like, and then the match goes on. I was like, man, if they don't fucking have a match before he goes back to Japan, I'm gonna be pissed because who brings back Takeshita for a one-off anyway, right? So
Right.
so I was like, man, maybe there's a chance. Literally, the video comes out after Rampage. Tony Khan came out and gave him his match for the pre-show tonight. So that's going to be awesome. And basically, the 0 hour pre-show should just be called the Eddie Kingston hour pre-show because this man is like literally on every single one of them and is always having some crazy ass match on all of them.
Tony Khan he's got to work on his screaming.
He's too
Every,
hyped, dude. He gets so
every,
hyped. I don't
every
blame
time
him.
he does it, his voice
He probably
cracks.
talks
Fucking,
constantly all day. I'm
yeah,
surprised he has any voice at all, honestly.
yeah. It's yeah. I love how excited he gets, but man, that voice cracking kills me. Um, yeah. So I've got Eddie in this, which is why I think they had June and Takeshita win last night.
See, okay, so Eddie winning makes sense because of what you just said, but it doesn't make sense with his current storyline where he is a hothead and keeps losing because of being a hothead. Does that make sense? Do you think
Yeah,
they
but
put that storyline on pause because of this? Because of this match happening? And then they'll go
I
back to it on Dynamite or something?
yeah, probably. Or they could even work it into it, where he calms down some, he feels like good, he's accomplished one of his goals, whatever, and then slips back into it. I don't know. There's a lot of ways you can go with this, but
I
I
think
still
I'm
have
gonna
him
go
winning.
Eddie too, though, just
I don't.
because I
I just
really
don't
want
see
Eddie
them
to
having
win.
him beat him twice.
Well, who took the pinfall last night?
Ortiz, but
Obviously.
still, I don't see you having Eddie Kingston lose twice to a guy that you brought in specifically for him to wrestle.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I'm going to Eddie too, but
Okay.
that's just because I really want Eddie to be able to say he beat Jun Akiyama because we already know how badly he wanted this, and
Right.
there's somebody else on his list that he wants to fight too, I believe. Um, so hopefully this is just the start of that type deal.
Hmm.
Hell, you know what? If it ends up being a thing that goes all the way into like Forbidden Door 2, where he gets to team up with Jun Akiyama and another guy from DDT that he really wants to go against in a 3-on-3 match against like New Japan guys. That'd be fucking badass for him too.
Mm.
Like I really want Eddie to be able to get everything that he wants, honestly. So get your matches against them, get your matches on their same team, do everything that you can do before they retire and you retire. So if he's not going to win any titles, you're not going to push him, even though he's clearly one of your most over people in the company. Then
Let him
at
do what
least
he
let
wants
him
to do in the
have
business.
let
Yeah.
him get his flowers in another way, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, so next up, we both picked Eddie. Let's go to the next one. The next one is the Best Friends, Orange Cassidy, Trent Beretta, and Chuck Taylor. with Rocky Romero and obviously Danhausen, versus the Factory, which is QT Marshall, Aaron Solo, Lee Johnson, Nick Camarado, and Cole Carter. What do you think about Lee Johnson joining the Factory, by the way? I don't think we talked about that on the show yet. Do you think that's a good step for him? Or do you think he should have just stayed with Arn, Brian Pillman, and Brock Anderson?
I think the Factory is technically a step up. It might be more of a step sideways. I don't know. They're pretty much in the same spot on the card. I don't know how much it's going to do for him personally. But I mean, he also literally trains with them, so it makes sense, I guess. I wasn't the biggest fan of it. I thought it was kind of weird. And people on Twitter later were like, "Oh, since when is he in the Factory?" Or whatever. It's like, yeah, it was a pretty quick thing. He did it the other night. Obviously, I have best friends winning this. By the way, I don't think anybody's.
Yeah, same. Do you think this is the start of us taking Danhausen more seriously? Like, is he going to take a more serious turn to his character?
They're trying to do his they're trying to do his evil character now. So yeah, I mean the shit. I don't know if you follow him on Twitter.
Evil character, but he's I understand. I know what early Danhausen is. I've seen his early YouTube videos back in early, like even before Ring of Honor. So like if you go back and watch those very disturbing intro videos to Danhausen from his OG shit where he was just like going by his regular name or whatever. Yeah, they were creepy as fuck. And I thought that was going to be like the start of it right there, but it was a very short video. I thought it was going to be a little bit longer than it was, but I'm hoping that's where they go. But the problem with this is how do you keep him going to a more serious direction as a very evil person, but stay with the best friends? Does that make sense?
He might not. He doesn't have to. This probably will just be more of like an introduction to the character. Let the announcer say, "Oh, he's acting different tonight," that kind of shit. And then have him not participate in all the goofy best friend hugging weird shit, just like brood off when he's done, and then that kind of separates.
My favorite thing would be like he gets the dub over QT, obviously, who is probably the most pushed person on the Factory. So
quality television, Marshall boy.
So anyway, but he does the curse, but he does the curse as like not as an actual curse, but just like when Randy Orton does his little stupid thing before he does the RKO, or Sweet Chin Music stomp before you do the Sweet Chin Music, that kind of deal. Something like that, where you're signaling, okay, to the crowd, basically like curse the crowd type deal. Something like that. Like just do a taunt and then do your move. And then after the match, they should have them all go in, even Cassidy, like go in for the hug. And then as soon as they hug him, the lights go out. And when the lights come back on, Danhausen's not there anymore. Like he disappeared.
Maybe.
That way, they can slowly start telling I mean, if they want to go the heel route, is what I'm saying. That could be the start of it. Instead of
he can be dark without being a heel, though.
Goofy shit and doing the thumbs up and shit like that. Do what?
He could be dark without being a heel too, though.
I mean, the problem is that fans like him.
Yeah.
So turning him heel this early, you'd have to do something very egregious. So you'd have to like actually turn on Orange Cassidy and go after the All Atlantic title type deal.
He's almost definitely going to do the tooth spot tonight.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Obviously. There's no way he doesn't. But yeah, so I've got best friends as well. Next up on the pre-show, you've got Ricky Starks versus Brian Cage. I've obviously got Ricky Starks because he's got to go against Ethan Page. It's got to be heel versus face. Sucks for Brian Cage, but hey, it sucks for a lot of people in this tournament because the tournament was full of really good people. So it's whatever. But Ricky Starks is winning this. And I do believe Ethan Page eventually wins the whole thing and goes against whoever I pick in the main event.
These two are responsible for my favorite Twitter interaction ever from Brian Cage. This was, I think, a couple of years ago. But it's when they first started their feud after all the Team Taz shit. And Brian Cage was like, "Where's the Philly street fight at, Ricky Starks?" Ricky Starks replies to him, "In Philly, you big dumb bitch." My favorite fucking tweet ever in wrestling. I got Ricky Starks winning this too. I don't think you have a Page versus Page final. It doesn't make any sense.
Really, it doesn't make any sense on any level, honestly.
It also doesn't. But the other thing is, it doesn't make any sense to have Starks go into this getting his ass beat by Lance Archer after the match. Like, chokeslammed on the stairs, all that. You're giving him all these reasons to be able to take a loss, but then he's not going to lose, and that just makes Cage look bad. I feel like.
Yeah,
But
it would have made more sense for just Cage to come out and do the damage instead of having Archer do it anyway.
right,
To actually build up that specific match.
I'm
And then
so
of course,
fucking tired of seeing Archer lose,
not
though.
only does Ricky Starks take 2 beatings in a row from Lance Archer, and then probably gonna have to deal with outside interference from Prince Nana, but then you're gonna beat fucking Brian Cage on top of that.
Yeah, it
So
doesn't look
that
great.
sucks for Brian Cage for sure. Because I feel like the Brian Cage Wardlow match was, I thought that was gonna be like a turning point for Brian Cage, especially in like the Ring of Honor setting,
Yeah,
but has not come to pass yet. Maybe,
yeah.
maybe eventually, maybe I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I kind of almost wanted Brian Cage to lose so that he could be inserted and make it a 4-way big meaty man slapping meat in the TV or TNT title match. That would have been awesome. So Cage versus Hobbs versus Samoa Joe versus Wardlow would have been fucking sick. Which you could have done, I guess, technically. He was having issues with War Joe for a while, and then of course he had the really good outing against War Joe, and he has the history with Hobbs as well. Like it could have worked. But anyway, yeah, I'm going Ricky Starks. Obviously, you're going Ricky Starks here too.
Yeah. Yes, I am. It's kind of funny that they ended up changing this whole, because the whole point of this was originally that the finals were going to be today. And then they did that segment with fucking Lance Archer and Ricky Starks where he attacks him backstage or whatever, and they had to reschedule it because then he wasn't cleared after that segment. He finally got cleared, but they weren't sure when it was going to be or whatever. So
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, I swear that originally they were going to have the finals at fucking Full Gear.
yeah, they did that fucking Lance Archer backstage attack segment, and it fucked up the whole scheduling because he couldn't get cleared after it. He apparently took a pretty bad bump.
So yeah, so now they're going to have the finals on Dynamite next
Yeah.
week, and then the title match will happen at Winter is Coming. Okay, so now we're going up to the main card. Are you ready for this, guy? Let's do it. Match number 1, we just talked about it or alluded to it. It is Samoa Joe and Powerhouse Hobbs challenging for Wardlow's TNT title in a triple threat match. Who do you got?
Do you think it's kind of weird that they didn't put both titles on the line in this and make it like an eliminator?
No. How would you have done that?
Like whoever wins gets both titles.
No.
But it's
hell no.
it's not.
No.
But you have to eliminate them. It's not a yeah. I don't know. I
Oh,
thought that
okay.
was
So
interesting.
like if Hobbs beats or gets the first pinfall, or no, just beats, no, because it would be elimination. So if Hobbs beats Joe, he becomes Ring of Honor champion, but then Wardlow could beat Hobbs and keep his title.
Right.
Type deal.
Yes.
So you'd have to actually get both pinfalls to get both titles. Okay, yeah, I
Right.
could have done that. That would have been cool. That
Yeah.
would have been cool, yeah.
I
A real
don't-
title eliminator match.
right. Exactly. Exactly. Fuck. I think it would be a really bad mistake to have Wardlow lose it now, but also he hasn't done much with it, and I'm not sure they know what to do with him. And putting 2 fucking huge guys against him like this, it gives him a reason to drop it and start moving the TNT title on to someone else, and give him something else to give Wardlow like freedom to go, Ring of Honor World Title or maybe AEW World Title. We'll see. Depends. I mean, if MJF wins it, that would make sense to have Wardlow go chase for it. But the TNT title feels really locked up right now by Wardlow because it's like nobody can beat Wardlow. But if you put him in a situation where Hobbs and Joe can just beat the shit out of him, then you have a legitimate reason for him to lose it and it not really make him look that bad. So I have Hobbs winning this, actually.
So do I. I actually already have mine written down. Well, you're not going to be able to see it because you're on Discord and we're not
Right.
doing this live. But I do have Hobbs written down already. I do have Hobbs. And I think that also works into the favor of Ricky Starks not winning against Ethan Page. And then Ricky Starks can go back to the feud that he never really finished with Hobbs for the TNT title.
Yep. It's just
So, yeah, I got Hobbs winning too because I feel like if Wardlow comes out of this still the champ, who the fuck is beating Wardlow?
right, exactly. You have to have him lose at some point to make him a sympathetic face, you also can't have him just hold the fucking TNT title hostage forever because it kills the division. Like, it doesn't. There's nobody you can put against him right now except for like a Miro or something like that. Whereas if you give it to Hobbs, who has lost matches before, he's lost to CM Punk, like he's lost some pretty high. He's lost to Starks even. He's not like this unbeatable fucking monster. Technically, Wardlow isn't either. He lost that match to Cody, but it's a long time ago. So this feels like the best way to move the division forward. It gives everybody something to do. Wardlow can go do the MJF chase afterward, assuming MJF wins the world title. And yeah, there's just so much more. And Samoa Joe is still going to have the Ring of Honor TV title, so no big deal there. They can even do a short little Wardlow thing with him if they want. But yeah, I mean, this just makes so much more sense to have Powerhouse Hobbs wins from a booking perspective. And I
Alright.
want to see Hobbs with the fucking title. So
Yeah, I agree. And Hobbs winning the title before Ricky Starks, he can use that in his promos against
Yeah.
Starks as well, because everybody was talking about how Starks was going to be the man to break out or whatever, and Hobbs winning the title before Ricky Starks would play in really well with that story. All right. Next up, it's the Trios match. I'm rocking the Elite shirt. It is for the Trios championships that the Elite technically never lost. It is Death Triangle, who have been racking up. I believe they have 3 or 4 defenses with this. Had a really good match with Top Flight. Nice to see Dante Martin back and AR Fox on Dynamite. And they are going against the re-emerging Elite, who we have not seen since All Out. So, obviously I have the Elite, or I wouldn't be rocking the shirt. And obviously you're rocking the Elite too, because if not, you'd be rocking the Death Triangle shirt 2 weeks in a row. So we're just gonna go ahead and write Elite down for you.
I was
You
not
know it's
going
the
to.
Elite, bitch.
I'm not going to wear the same shirt 2 weeks in a row.
Come on, man.
These are all different.
You know
shirts
why
every
you
time I
wore
wear
it
them.
last week instead of this week. Don't start your shit.
Because I got it that day. Or the day before. I don't remember.
Oh, speaking of, don't forget you can check out your MonsterCast t-shirts. I'll have the link in the description below as well. 2 different versions, baby. We got the chibi version and the logo version. So check those out if you want some MonsterCast t-shirts.
I've got the Elite for this. I think the obvious story here is that Pat goes to cheat with the hammer. Phoenix stops him. They have a little tiff. They end up losing because of that. And then Pac is done with that triangle and moves on.
I did see some cool shit that somebody suggested, but obviously it can't happen because Punk is hurt. But like, FTR coming out and then Punk being their partner or whatever would be cool, because that's kind of what we wanted the whole time when the trios thing was announced. Obviously that's never going to happen now, but that would have been kind of cool.
Hey, hold
that
on.
match would have been awesome.
How sure are you that it's never? I've got a conspiracy theory to float by you at the end of this show.
Well, also, if it's a good one, you can float it by everybody else on tomorrow's show. All right. So anyway, that was a pretty easy one. Elite winning is probably the easiest one on here, right?
Yeah, because you don't bring them. You could. Here's the thing that I feel is the problem. I don't feel like Omega wants to come back and be like, yeah, I just want to go over Pac. I want to take his fucking belt away. I think he might even be kind of, because he's given wins to Pac before. I think he like genuinely likes him and stuff. So I don't know that he wants to come back and just take the belts off of him. But it seems obvious to me that the reason that Tony Khan's been writing so much dissent into the Death Triangle storyline, kind of out of nowhere, with the cheating shit,
is to protect the loss.
Yes.
So here's the thing: if you just break this down, dude, you've got like the best tag team rivalry that we've had so far in AEW with the Lucha Bros and Young Bucks, where like people are literally arguing at one point, especially before FTR came over, who was the best tag team in the world, Lucha Bros or Young Bucks. And then you've got Pac and Omega, who have a long history, and you have said on many occasions on this show how much you think Pac should be in the conversation for best wrestler in the world with Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega and Okada, yes. Right? So
100%.
And Danielson, obviously, but those are like your 4, right? Those would be your 4. So and like this is a big fucking deal. Like this match is going to be outrageous, dude. It's gonna be crazy. Yep. This is gonna easily. I think this is. If there was a way to measure it, this would be where you want to put your money on best match of the night.
Yes, 100%. I don't think any other match on and the Ring of Honor World Title match might be close because you've got Claudio and Danielson in there, and at some point there's going to be a spot where Guevara and Jericho are fucking knocked out, and they're going to face down.
And there's also going to be a spot where Guevara's going to do something fucking crazy.
Yeah, so I think that one could be a contender for it. But if you said, hey, you got to put like $100 on the line, $1,000, $10,000, whatever, this match by far easily going to be the best
Yeah,
match of the night.
I mean, I feel like this match by far is easily going to win it either, as well, rather, I should say. But I'm not saying that to discredit the Acclaimed versus Swerve in Our Glory, who almost stole the show at the last pay-per-view
Yeah.
when they had the trios finals with the Elite and shit. Oh my god. Dude, I just lost who the fuck they went against in the final. Dark Order. So
Dark Order with Hangman Adam
yeah.
Page.
So that match was like, when that match was over and Kenny Omega was like, follow that. Well, the only ones that really followed that was
I
the
forgot about
Acclaimed
that.
and Swerve in Our Glory, right? So
Yeah.
So I mean, the other matches were solid or whatever, but that was the one that was like, holy shit, okay, that one stood out too. But because of the storyline, and we'll get into it in a minute, I think that will actually it'll be more story driven with the split between Swerve and Lee, and that will actually hurt the match quality compared to last time, the last two times actually.
Oh, you have them losing.
I'll show you. I'll
Okay,
show you.
we'll get there. We'll get there.
We'll get there. But first, Jungle Boy Jack Perry, who they actually now are using Jack Perry as his name on the graphics and everything. So shout out to JR. We don't have to bury you anymore. Jungle Boy Jack. Well, I mean, remember, there's a lot of people that were up in arms about him calling him Jack Perry or whatever because because he didn't want to be called Jack.
He didn't want to be called the Jack Perry.
Yes, but then JR changed it to just Jungle Boy Jack and didn't say Perry, but then people were still pissed off about it. And Jungle Boy Jack would have been fine with me.
Yeah.
Jungle Boy Jack would have been fine with me too. I mean, I don't have a problem with me using his dad's name. I don't give a fuck.
Jungle Man.
Jungle Man Jack. And then, of course, he's going in a steel cage match against Luchasaurus, and there's no way Jungle Boy loses this match.
I
Zero
don't
chance.
think so either.
Zero chance.
Because what's Luchasaurus going to do? Climb out? Come on. He can barely kick.
He's going to go out the door like you like it.
Yeah. Fucking stupid.
For those of you who don't know, if you're watching us on the new channel, Ryan hates the door in the cage.
The door exit
hates
is the dumbest shit, dude. They got to get rid of it.
Maybe Christian will have some mace to spray in his face.
Oh, or a fireball. Or maybe Jungle Boy's climbing out over the top. He gets over, he looks down, and then Christian Cage slides out from underneath the fucking ring and stares up at him. Big brain booking.
Scares him from fucking 12 feet away, 15 feet away, 20 feet away, whatever the fuck it was. Whatever they lied to you about how high it is.
Yeah,
but anyway, you know what'd be great is if he does do that. If he's sitting down there waiting for him and he's got his arm in a sling and the Jungle Boy just drops on his ass anyway.
Yeah, just elbow drop him.
Awesome.
Oh, Macho Man Randy Savage him.
Yeah, but that's what I didn't understand about that shit with Dexter Lumis. Like, just drop down. Either he's gonna move or you're gonna crush him. Like, what?
Right.
Why are you scared, bro?
Yeah.
You think he's gonna swallow up like Gengar and eat you? Like, I don't understand what the fuck you thought was gonna happen.
His waist and arms, bro. What are you doing? Just coup de grace him. Okay, so yeah, I have Jungle Boy in this as well. The only one we might pick differently on might be the fucking tag team title match.
All right, another easy one. We got Sting and Darby Allin versus Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett. I've got Sting and Darby Allin.
So do I.
This might actually be the easiest one, honestly. This one might be the easiest.
Jarrett just came back. You could make the case that it would make sense for him to cheat and win, whatever. But Sting coming back for the first time in a long time, you don't have him lose. I don't feel like it doesn't make any sense.
Nah, especially okay. So with the trios introduction, and because you waited so long, and a lot of trios are no longer there, and your tag team division has taken hits with injuries or whatever, or they're tied up in other shit. Like for instance, Private Party was at one time was one of your top tag teams for a while, and now they're kind of just fell off the fucking face of the earth with this Matt Hardy shit because Jeff Hardy's no longer there. Jeff Hardy's no longer there, so you don't have the Hardy Boys anymore. You've got FTR has two other titles, so you're not fucking going to give them a third title right now because you need to push these other tag teams, which is why Acclaimed fits so nicely here. Swerve in Our Glory fits so nicely here. The Gun Club is not ready yet. We've established that on the show before. So, like, both of your divisions kind of took a hit. You had Malachi and Buddy leave for mental health break type deal. You had the Elite get suspended. So you've had a lot of problems going on. Adam Cole got hurt. Kyle O'Reilly got hurt. Bobby Fish got kicked out. So you've got a lot of issues going on with both divisions. Where's the lie? All right. So that's what happened. So you got a lot of issues, bro. You got a lot of issues on both sides. So I think keeping Sting and Darby very strong here makes sense in case you want to put them in that tag division thing. And we both said in the past, after we saw the performance of Sting that he's given, or performances that he's given AEW live and cinematic, we would not have an issue with him in the right situation winning the tag titles with a Darby Allin. And I think this is one of the better times to do that,
Yeah,
to
you don't
push
have
for
much
that.
time left.
Yeah. So yeah, I've got Sting and Darby. Of course, you have Sting and Darby. And also, I believe that Jeff is protected because he already has another job with AEW anyway. I think this is just sporadic stuff. He doesn't need to win any of these matches. If he can't beat Ric Flair, he's not going to beat Sting.
Well, the thing is, too, the heel work that he did during that show, I think, is what got him where he was like, okay, like I can still do this to some extent, because he was really good at playing a heel that night.
And
during all the Sting shit, or the Flair shit.
there's no shade at Jarrett. Like, he's in good shape.
Yeah, no, he looks fine.
Dude, Sting and Jarrett, if you're going to grab two legends to still have matches on a pay-per-view for a young upstart company, these are the two guys you want.
PRT is fucking magic, boy. That's what it is. Same reason Vince McMahon's still so goddamn jacked.
Yeah. So yeah, we both got Sting and Darby, obviously.
Yeah.
All right, next up.
What is
Next up,
next?
we got I feel like this is an easy one too, honestly. I have Saraya beating Britt Baker. I do love the back and forth between both of them. I think the promos from both of them has been really good from the last couple weeks. To build this up. You didn't like either? You don't like any of the promos?
No, fuck no. I think it's stupid. You've got Saraya coming back. She's supposed to be the face in this program. And her argument when she comes back is, you're not as famous as me. You've never been in WWE. You've never wrestled Madison Square Garden. Like, just stupid fucking, like, WWE heel shit. And Britt has to go out there as supposedly the heel in this program and be like, oh, but I was here during the pandemic and I kept this fucking, like, industry alive, wrestling during the pandemic for all the fans, like, all that shit. That's not a fucking heel promo. But Britt basically had to say all that because Saraya cut a fucking heel promo on her. It sucked. I don't like this build at all.
Well, I'm not worried about that. Like, just like Saraya said on Twitter when somebody asked her who the hell is the heel in the face in this match, she said, who cares? I don't care. I just want to see him wrestle.
That's not okay, but you should care because it kind of goes against Britt's whole character right now, and it makes Saraya look like a fucking asshole.
No, I didn't care who the hell the heel in the face was when Adam Page and Daniel Bryan fought, or Bryan Danielson rather. I just wanted to see the match. This is the same situation for me.
See, I don't really. I think you need more consistency for this storyline because neither one of them is a goddamn Bryan Danielson. That's the problem. This match isn't gonna. It doesn't have the interest of like being an amazing fucking match.
Let's pump the brakes a little bit, okay? These are two of the better female wrestlers in the world, and that's assuming that Saraya can still go. Obviously,
yeah,
no one's gonna see.
I'm not assuming.
Yeah, I agree. One fucking wrong move, she's out again forever.
She wasn't even fully cleared until relatively recently.
That's
so
fine.
She hasn't been taking bumps practicing or anything.
That's fine. She took her first bump this last weekend, or last week rather, but that wasn't really a bump. She was just doing the rampage move. But she did have to land on her back. So anyway, so the other thing is I feel like a lot of offense in this match is going to be obviously Saraya giving it to Britt Baker to help protect her. But there will be times in this match where we're probably going to be like, we're going to be doing like just like we did with Bryan Danielson, just like we did with Edge. Just like we're going to do with Big E when he comes back and tries to do that fucking suicide dive, there are going to be times where we're going to try to like side eye it instead of watching it straight on because we're going to be very nervous for these people. But that's not, that's the point. What I'm trying to say is, you said neither one is Bryan Danielson. Valid. There is no female that is Bryan Danielson, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and just shoot that off to the side. They don't have to be Bryan Danielson, but they are both very good workers. Who? Io
Shirai.
Io Shirai is not a Bryan Danielson.
She's pretty fucking good.
No, the closest I would say is Asuka. Io Shirai does like more high flying type shit.
Yeah, just talking about quality, not necessarily the same moveset. Okay, so here's the other thing. I don't really give a shit about Saraya being back. I don't care.
Saraya.
Whatever. I don't care.
Why not?
I just don't care. It's just another goddamn WWE name to bring in here, and like it's. If they had kept her in kind of like a management position, something like that, that'd be cool. Maybe like as a coach backstage, that kind of stuff, since she's been in the industry so long.
Her star power, even after all this time of not being in the ring, dude, is worth it.
Her as a wrestler has never been super interesting to me. That's part of it. The other part of it is I just don't fucking like her character. She doesn't have what's her character? What is her character?
What's her character? Well,
what's her character?
Right, currently I have no idea what her character is.
Right. Nobody does. Never
Her
really
character
has.
is I'm coming back from being
Yeah.
retired. That's her character.
Boring. Fucking boring. I don't care. I don't care about any of this. Britt Baker should not be taking a loss to somebody that they just signed who barely got fucking cleared because she's a bigger name from WWE, which is what Saraya said in the promo, making like everybody in AEW look shitty. I don't like any of this. This whole program sucks to me. I don't think Britt Baker should lose. I know that the way that they're going to book it is they're going to have Saraya win, but I don't like it. I think it's bullshit.
I think they should have Saraya win because of the star power and because of what she can bring to the division if she doesn't get hurt, obviously. Now, if something happens in this match or even 2 matches down the line and Saraya is right back out and can't wrestle anymore, then that's going to suck for Britt. But there is ways to build off of this. You had CM Punk come in and destroy everybody. And he was fucking making sales and fucking
2 matches in a row.
But he was also getting the legend rub. He was also, or giving the legend rub, I should say, to all these guys. So,
come on. Did Penta need a fucking legend rub?
that was, that was just Tony Khan wanting to fucking see that match, dude.
What did it do for Hobbs?
Hobbs about to win the title tonight.
Not because of that match.
You don't know.
It was because of the storytelling that he's done with fucking Starks. That's why. It's got nothing to do with CM Punk didn't give anybody a fucking rub.
Disagree. I disagree with that.
You know what? I shouldn't have said that. That's not true. He did elevate MJF a lot because he gave MJF a good canvas to write on. Is what happened with that whole storyline. I will say that. But other than that, dude, no. Wrestling CM Punk isn't some fucking great elevation for your career.
See, we're not ever going to agree on that because you don't like CM Punk. But
it's not that
I do believe he gave the legend rub to a lot of guys. Eddie Kingston, Darby Allin, MJF, as you mentioned.
It's not that it was a legend rub.
I think Adam Page could have been a really big deal if they didn't both implode on each other.
I think the reason that Eddie Kingston ended up raising his stock from it wasn't because he wrestled CM Punk. It's because you got to see how good his fucking promo skills were again when he was talking shit about somebody he doesn't like. That's it. It's not that CM Punk is some great fucking elevator for someone's career. That doesn't make it's not wrestling him. It's definitely not him beating him.
It could have easily went a Thunder Rosa Evilise way, and it didn't. Is what I'm saying. He clearly had no problem letting Eddie Kingston get offense in and putting him over too in these promos. I think all that helps. It's not just the match itself. Just being in a program with CM Punk elevates you.
Do you think being in this program with Saraya has elevated Britt Baker?
It will eventually, yes. I believe that if it wasn't for Saraya, Britt Baker would not be on this card.
I think if Saraya's promos weren't, hey, I'm from WWE and I'm better than you and I've been a superstar and I've wrestled in big arenas and you never have, how does that make your fucking company look? That you're saying that
she never
to the
actually
former
mentioned
world
WWE
champion?
by name. She mentioned the Tokyo Dome, but she did mention Madison Square Garden, but she did not
Madison
mention
Square
WWE.
Garden. You know what she's talking about.
Well, you know what she's talking about when she said Tokyo Dome too. She's not saying any lies. My point is that you act like she just came off the fucking WWE train, like she just had a match last year or earlier this year. Dude, she's not been wrestling for a long time.
It's even worse. So she's
it's
still
not though, because she's had
from 3 years
to be
ago.
this over even after all this time of not wrestling is a big deal. It's no different from CM Punk, Edge, Christian, Daniel Bryan.
No, you're saying that she's this over, but the thing is, there's a nostalgia hit when she first gets back. Everyone's like, "Oh, cool! It's so exciting to see her. It's great that she's doing well. She's back in wrestling, whatever." But that doesn't mean that they want to see her wrestle. I don't. I don't give a shit.
Well, you don't, but there are people that do.
And there's a lot of people that don't. They're just like, "Oh, cool, Paige, yay, Paige."
We'll see after tonight. If she goes out there and fumbles the bag tonight or gets hurt again, okay, I'll give that to you. But if she goes out there and has a really good match with Britt, you're not going to fucking tell me that it's because of Britt when I've seen Paige have awesome matches before.
I don't think anybody should be coming in and shitting on your former world champions, saying that they've never done anything in the fucking industry because they've worked for this company, and then beating them. That's so stupid.
We'll see. I mean, I'm not saying that you're wrong about the fucking promos that she's been cutting. I'm just telling you, I don't care.
Earlier, you love those promos and you think this whole build's been great. It's not.
Yeah, I think the promos besides... She never said nothing about WWE, bro. Nothing about WWE specifically.
You can play dumb about it if you want, but you know goddamn well what she was saying.
Who cares? They're going back and forth, and I don't care who the face or heel is. That's my point. So you're saying, you don't like it because Saraya's been saying this and she's coming off as the heel? I don't care if she's the heel or not. She can play the heel during the fucking match for all I care, like fucking Swerve and Our Glory did with the Acclaimed when they started cheering the Acclaimed. I don't care. If they want to cheer for Britt Baker, that's fine. I like Britt Baker, but I don't care. I just want to see the match happen. I want to see a good match. Britt Baker is only on this card right now because Saraya is in this fucking promotion. If Saraya was not in this promotion right now, Britt Baker would not be in this fucking match or on a match at all. I firmly believe that because they'd have
They would've
fucking
just
Toni
found
Storm
something
versus
else for her
Jamie
to do.
Hayter anyway.
They would have just found something else for her to do.
I disagree. Yeah, she would have been fucking at ringside for Jamie Hayter. That's what she would have been doing.
Also, yeah, she said fucking Tokyo Dome, but she's never wrestled at the fucking Tokyo Dome either. She meant Sumo Hall.
Do you have Saraya winning though? Obviously, because you
Yeah,
said
I just-
you
it's
still think she's
fucking
gonna win.
stupid. Yes.
Well, I think she's gonna win, and I think it'll be great for both ladies. So we disagree on that. I'm hoping I don't miss any of these, by the way, because I don't have them all set up on the stream deck. So hopefully we don't miss any of his matches. Next
we'll
up,
look.
Jade Cargill versus Nyla Rose. Making sure I click all these.
Yeah. I don't know this
Is that
one.
the right one in the order? No, it's what? Oh yeah.
Hmm?
No. What the fuck am I doing? I must have put them out of order.
What are you doing?
I thought I put them in the same order as the Wikipedia shit, but apparently not.
Well, if you forget one, I'll tell you.
Well, I got the Wikipedia shit up, so it's no big deal. But Jade Cargill versus Nyla Rose. I got Jade Cargill winning.
I do too, but I think that it would be more interesting if she didn't. So I think you could tell a better story off of it and actually make a good story out of it if Nyla actually won, and then Jade has to chase to get it back because she's actually not the champion. And you could do shit with like interference with Vicky or whatever that would make it make sense, I guess. But no, I have Cargill winning this too. I don't think they're going to go that route.
All right, Jade Cargill.
God, have we picked everything the same?
I don't know yet. Give me a second. Trying to fucking focus. Chris Jericho defending the Ring of Honor title against Bryan Danielson, Claudio Castagnoli, and Sammy Guevara in a 4-way match. Obviously, the interesting plot point here is 2 BCC members, 2 JAS members, Sammy Guevara basically giving the side eye to Jericho every time Jericho thinks Sammy's just going to lay down for him or help him retain the title.
Yeah.
We mentioned this a little bit before. Sammy's going to do something crazy. Danielson's going to do something crazy. Well, not crazy, but you get what I'm saying. Like, he's going to go fucking nuts like a hot tag type deal. Claudio's probably going to do that too, running around the ring, fucking uppercutting people, doing the Cesaro swing, all kinds of shit. I actually think Jericho keeps it here. I think Jericho keeps it by either fucking over Sammy or actually just beating Sammy straight up. Maybe goes for the Judas effect on Bryan Danielson. He ducks, he hits Sammy, he throws Bryan to the outside of the ring and then pins Sammy, something like that. Yeah, something like that. I feel like that's what's going to happen. There's no reason to not have Jericho. Like, if you're going to do this Jericho thing, right? Like you said a few weeks ago, there's still more that you can do with it. 1. 2, you can still create dissension in BCC. You could even have a Willer Yuta sighting, who also have had problems with Bryan Danielson in the past. And of course, you have the issues and tensions between now Jericho and Sammy, and they can keep going forward in case you want to have Sammy eventually take that Ring of Honor TV title from a Jericho. But the other thing is you still don't have a weekly TV deal with Ring of Honor. So why would you move the title off the biggest star that could possibly hold the title at the moment?
So I also have Jericho winning, but for a slightly different reason. I have Jericho winning. Probably, I'm thinking the same as far as the way that the match is booked, where it's probably going to end up being him pinning Guevara. But my reasoning for it is that Adam Cole is the one who comes back and takes that title off of Jericho. So he's going to keep doing the I'm going to face all the former Ring of Honor champion, whatever the fuck storyline. And then that's when you have Adam Cole come back and beat him for it. Because they can't do the Elite versus Adam Cole bullshit. Not really anymore. Now that Fish is gone, they don't have a trios. Who knows when Kyle O'Reilly is going to be back? I think Adam Cole is going to be cleared before them. And it wouldn't really make sense to throw him back into the Elite stuff, not having like 2 people as backup. they'll need to do something to address
Yeah,
it.
the only way they'd be able to do that if Kyle O'Reilly is not ready is to have him rejoin the Kingdom like he was in Ring of Honor. That would mean he'd have to join up with Taven and Mike Bennett like he was in Ring of Honor.
Which feels like a downgrade, but you know, I think it makes a
Well, in
lot more
terms, I mean,
sense.
they're both better than Bobby Fish, but whatever.
No, I just mean a downgrade for Adam Cole in general.
Oh,
So
yeah. Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, if they're not going to actually have a real shot to take the titles, then yes, it is a
right.
downgrade.
So I have Chris Jericho winning this, also with some fuckery with Guevara, and then Adam Cole coming back relatively soon to challenge for it.
All right. So you could also, depending on where Kyle O'Reilly is, he's a former Ring of Honor World Champion as well. Let's just throw that out there.
Mm.
So, I mean, if he came back first, he could take out O'Reilly and then Adam Cole. But do you think Adam Cole shows up tonight on the pay-per-view?
Maybe you could do a post-match promo because it is the second. That's like what co-main basically. Post-match promo where Chris Jericho gets on the mic, starts talking shit about how he's the greatest Ring of Honor champion of all time. No, he's gone through all the former Ring of Honor champions, blah blah blah, and then have Adam Cole come out. The music hits, everybody goes fucking crazy. You know, could work.
Next up, Toni Storm defends the interim Women's World Championship against Jamie Hayter. I do love the organic reactions that Jamie Hayter has been getting for not only her ring skill, but other things. And she's been very popular. Kind of like, I would liken this to probably like a Hook, except Hook was just getting those reactions by standing around, not doing anything.
Right.
And everybody just wanted to see him and kind of turned into a meme, obviously. But Jamie Hayter's actually been out there. Actually, she's had 2 stints with AEW. One where she was a little bit bigger, and then she went back to the UK and then like lost a lot, or I don't even know, the UK, Japan, basically, Stardom. Actually got in like crazy good shape, came back, got re-signed, which was awesome. I don't know if she was ever actually signed or if it was like a temporary deal or certain dates or whatever, but ever since she's been back, she's been on a tear, got thrown in with the Britt Baker stuff. Of course, there's been rumors of her joining the BCC if they were ever going to have a female or a woman join the ranks. But I don't see why we would muddle the situation even more and have a new champion, a new interim champion. So I'm going to go Toni Storm here just because they need to have it on her so that when Thunder Rosa finally comes back, they can just beat Thunder Rosa and get that shit done with, and then we can move on to a Jamie Hayter or somebody else. By the way, shout out to Athena. I love what the fuck they're doing with Athena, just so you know. Probably the best character direction Athena's ever had in WWE, NXT, or AEW. Love this new shit that she's doing. And talk about massive heat, hitting Aubrey Edwards and making her go down for the first time in her career on AEW in 3 years. That garnered a sweet reaction. So I'm really loving what they do with Athena. I'm hoping what this does is she beats Hayter, she beats a returning Thunder Rosa, and then she can go to heel Athena. I'm hoping that's where we're going.
I mean, she's already heel, so.
No, I'm saying like go against a heel Athena would make sense instead of going against. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I got you.
Okay.
All right, because obviously Athena's not going to go back after Jade Cargill. So, as a heel anyway. Although Jade Cargill's been getting a lot of cheers in this fucking promo with Nyla. I don't think people realize that Nyla's supposed to be the face. But, I mean, Jade is just over, obviously. So who do you got? You got Toni Storm or Jamie Hayter?
I've got Hayter.
So how do you think they solve this situation when Thunder Rosa comes back? Triple threat?
They could do that. They could say that, she never never beat her and that you could do the whole like title lineage argument, whatever the fuck, and set it up as triple threat. You're also assuming Thunder Rosa even comes back, which who knows.
Yeah, I know. I thought about that as soon as I said it too. I was like, is she even going to come back if Toni Storm still has the title, or will she be more likely to come back if Hayter comes back, or if Hayter wins tonight and gets the title, because then Thunder Rosa thinks she has a better shot of beating Hayter in Tony Khan booking it.
Yeah. If I'm Tony Khan, I'm not thrilled with this whole situation to begin with, and I would not be giving Rosa any title back at this point. So, if she wants to come back, great. But I would just tell her straight up, like, you're not coming back to win. So
I would like the next title you win is with when I introduce the women's tag titles, and your tag team partner is going to be Eva Lise. That's what I would do. King Petty, baby. Let's go.
You're gonna learn to get along. This is the friendship shirt. So yeah, I've got Hayter winning this actually.
Okay, so we've got our first disagreement as far as predictions go.
Khan's been pretty good about pulling the trigger on people when they're hot. Storm's not really been getting that big a reaction lately. Haters obviously like super fucking hot. With the crowd. I mean, don't be fucking weird. She's super hot with the crowd. Um, so I think now's the time to do that. I think you put the belt on her, and then you sort out whatever title lineage interim bullshit later. So
All right, next up, we got the Acclaimed defending the tag titles against Swerve and Our Glory. I have the Acclaimed winning. So you're telling me that you don't have the Acclaimed keeping these titles? Is that what you're telling
I
me?
I do not. I think that the whole angle with Bowens and his elbow injury and all that shit that he's been selling for the whole week. Yeah, I have Swerve and Our Glory winning this, and the reason that I have that is actually for something that you mentioned earlier. You were talking about not wanting FTR in that title picture. They've already got 3 belts. Doesn't make any sense. Blah blah blah. I think you don't put FTR up against the Acclaimed. I think you have Swerve and Our Glory win the titles back, and then FTR challenge them for the titles. So you could hot potato it a little bit. FTR is eventually going to want to hold the AEW titles at the same time as all these other ones, so they can say that they were fucking champions in 4 different promotions at the same time, cement their legacy forever. Then once that's done, you can have them drop it to whoever. So, yeah, I have Swerve and Our
The
Glory
only
winning
thing holding
this.
that up, or the only thing that would rush that, I should say, is you don't know when these other promotions, excluding Ring of Honor, obviously, are going to want to say, hey, we need our fucking titles back.
Right, there is that, which is why I feel like you have to do this sooner than later. Which is
Definitely
why
before
I
Wrestle
have.
Kingdom, right? Because they're already scheduled to fight at Wrestle Kingdom, I believe.
They're doing Aussie Open, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, which I don't think Aussie Open's going to win that, but we'll see. But yeah, I think that for this all to make sense, you have Swerve and Our Glory win, and then maybe drop them to FTR at that December Winter is Coming thing that they do. Maybe something like that, or one of the Battle of the Belts coming up before Wrestle Kingdom.
I don't know. Winter is coming is pretty fast afterwards.
Yeah, I know, but then you could do the Keith Lee Swerve split there, and have Swerve go do his solo stuff, which he's clearly more than ready for.
Yeah, or you could do a triple threat and have FTR win it that way too. Because you could always have the Acclaimed win here and the Acclaimed versus the Gun Club versus FTR, who have all been intertwined recently at Winter is Coming. The Acclaimed get
Yeah,
another tag title defense here tonight under their belt, so it doesn't look like they just had it for one
you
shot.
could. I just think it's a
And then
bad
have
look to
FTR
have
like
Swerve and Our Glory
beat the
lose
Gun
so
Club.
many times to the Acclaimed, especially with Bowens having an injured elbow. I just
But
don't
if
think
you're
that
going
makes
to split
sense.
up Keith Lee and Swerve in Our Glory, or in Swerve Strickland rather, I should say, then I don't really care if they lose to him again as a tag team because they're not going to be a tag team much longer. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I just think it looks bad for their singles runs coming out of it too.
But I don't think it looks bad for either one because you can use it in the promo. Like Keith Lee could be like, "Dude, if you would have just kept your fucking head, we would have won. I had it won." Type deal
Mm.
because that's clearly where they're going with this, right? Like Swerve is obviously like, but I mean, if they swerved everybody, because I mean, Swerve in Our Glory, if they swerved everybody and Keith Lee just turned straight up heel and they won the titles back, that'd be fucking badass too. I ain't
I
gonna lie.
thought that's what they were going to do. So that's kind of what they were teasing in their first match together, and I thought that's what they were going to do. Um, but they never pulled the trigger on that. So tonight might be the night for that too. Maybe have Keith Lee end up, doing some heel shit, and that's how they win. So, but yeah, I have Swerve and Our Glory winning this.
And last but not least, it is Jon Moxley defending the AEW World Championship against MJF, cashing in his casino ladder match poker ship. A lot of people think this is MJF's time. I do not.
I also do not, and I s- I still have him winning because I think he cheats. I think he does he's been pulling this like, oh, I'm gonna win it the right way, blah blah blah. I think that's what he's getting at with the greatest trick bullshit that he keeps repeating. Is that everybody thinks, oh, like he's gonna try to win it the right way. He's a different guy now, whatever, and then he goes straight back to the old heel bullshit. Hits him with like either Regal's brass knuckles or the diamond ring or some bullshit. We'll see. Um,
There was a lot of
it could.
people saying their conspiracy theory about Regal possibly turning on Jon Moxley and giving MJF the brass knucks. What do you think about that?
I've the problem with it is it fucks up one of your best factions and doesn't really make that much sense. Not in storyline, not in like really any way, other than Regal being like, "Oh, I see so much of myself in him, like when I was younger, and that's why I turned on 2 people that I've called fucking like friends." Like it doesn't make any sense. It's weird. If it happened,
Yeah, I
like,
mean,
it'd
I
be
agree. I don't think it happens,
interesting,
but
but
it
I
was
don't think it makes
yeah, it'd be
sense.
interesting, yeah, to see how
Yeah.
they spin it. Just because if you think about it, MJF actually was going to shake hands with Yuta, right?
Right.
He had the really good match. Uh, I believe no, I don't think he fought Danielson actually. But anyway, he's clearly had shit in the past with Regal. Obviously, we had the sweet promo a few Dynamites back where like
The
everybody's
email
mind was
promo.
blown. The email
Um,
promo, yeah.
yeah.
So you had that. And then of course, like there's no one that he's really you can say why would they let him in their faction type deal. Like if he was to win straight up, okay. But this if he wins by cheating, then you would have to take Regal out of the group too, and then it wouldn't make any sense because Regal's the one that put the group together.
Right. Yeah. So I
Because this
don't.
would be more of a Regal starting a new group with like fucking Pac and MJF, people that have no problem using goddamn weapons around the ring.
Yeah.
The Ring Man and the Hammer Pack.
Well, I think the reason they separated the whole MJF and Firm shit is because they realized that MJF just does better without a group
So you
anyway.
think MJF wins then, or you're just picking him? Are you picking him
Well,
to be like, play it
that's the
safe, or do
same
you
thing,
actually
isn't
think
it?
he wins? Huh?
That's the same thing, isn't it? I would pick who I think is going to win if I'm trying to play it
I
safe.
don't do that all the time.
I mean, by definition, if I'm playing it safe, I'm going to pick the person who I think is going to win.
Okay, let me rephrase it. Do you want him to win, or are you picking him
No,
to win?
I don't want him to win. No, I don't want him to win.
But you think he's going to?
Yeah, I
You
think
think
that
this is
there's.
MJF's time to shine finally?
I think
Sort of.
no, I think it's too early. But I think that his renegotiation of his contract probably came with the whole, okay, I want to be fucking world champion. I want X amount of money, whatever. And this is probably part of that. It was supposed to be against Punk, obviously, but it didn't happen for obvious reasons.
If it was MJF versus Punk, would you pick MJF in this?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
Because Punk had already had whatever wins he needed over MJF to make it make sense. He would have had his title run by now. You know,
Do you think they would have played it the same way though? Like,
they
what would have
probably
been the storyline going into it? That he can't cheat to win type deal, or would have been something different?
no, they probably just would have kept playing the whole MJF Punk thing. The whole thing with needing to have MJF do kind of like a character switch was specifically because Punk was gone. If he wasn't, they could have tried to do the MJF babyface kind of thing because he was obviously getting cheered and stuff. But instead of making it about like, oh, I'm not going to cheat, whatever, just make it about, hey, Punk, you're a piece of shit, and I'm a piece of shit too, but at least I admit it, that kind of thing.
What about the conspiracy theory that someone that will be completely covered will come out and help MJF by hitting him with the diamond ring, and then later on, 8 months from now, we find out it was CM Punk.
Okay, so this is the conspiracy theory that I was talking about. I'm not
Okay, all right.
entirely sure that CM Punk isn't still potentially coming back. They've been
Is this
mentioning
based off the media call answer?
that, and also because they've been alluding to him a lot more in promos and stuff lately too. MJF mentioned him the other night. Moxley mentioned him the other night when he was trying to recap everything that happened leading up
Indirectly,
to.
yes, correct.
Yeah. So to me, if he's just gone and you're trying to erase all that from the whole company's history, whatever, you don't even bother recapping that or mentioning it or whatever. You're just fucking done with it. You forget it ever happened. You focus on the story as it is right now. You don't have to go back and go all the way to the, all that. I could see a world, maybe, where CM Punk grows the fuck up a little bit and starts acting like the 40-something-year-old man he is and goes back to the locker room and says, look, I fucking overreacted. I'm sorry. I was injured. I was upset. I knew I was injured when I was in that press conference. I had a lot of shit boiling over. I was mad. I said some shit I shouldn't have said. I'm sorry. Like, please fucking forgive me. I'll try to be better going forward. All that. And in that reality, you could have him come back in and do some shit. Would the locker room be thrilled about it without like a very good apology? No. And even with a very good apology, still probably not all of them are going to be on board.
They're not gonna. They're definitely not gonna trust him at first. It will take a long time.
Right. But
I
he
mean, you already
does
had
make
people
the
that didn't
company
like you
money.
anyway, like Eddie Kingston and shit.
He even joked about the shit the other night when he was commentating for that fucking MMA promotion.
Yeah, obviously
So
that video went fucking viral, and it was like literally nothing, and it went viral, dude. Like everybody's hanging on every little thing to do with this situation, whether it's Tony Khan answering a question, which you know he's going to get fucking asked at the scrum afterwards, and he's going to say no comment. You know he just answered that little thing where he said, I have nothing but good things to say about Punk, but I can't comment on that situation type deal. He was saying
Which
that
is
kind
the
of stuff
same
about
shit
MJF.
he said about MJF. Exactly.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly.
So, you got that going on. You also have the fact that like it's mind-boggling that when he says he was blindsided and that's why he didn't step up. And I had mentioned on the show, why didn't Tony Khan just step in and just like, hey, nah, we're not talking about that here. We're talking about what happened tonight type deal and just cut him off.
Right.
I'm sure part of it is because Tony Khan was never put in that position before. Part two is he probably didn't want Punk to start going off on him. The problem with Punk, honestly, is he is so infatuated with Bret Hart, but he turned out to be Shawn Michaels, right? Let's be real here. Like, he thought he was untouchable because he got that title, right? He is over. He was clearly the most over in the company. He's got the merch sales to back it up. There was a point in time where Shawn was shitting on everyone. He was close with the boss. He was champion. So, like, even with the curtain call type shit, he was untouchable, right? So, he idolizes Bret, and Bret was always right, but then you turned out to be Shawn. So that kind of sucks for him, and he needs to grow up like Shawn did. So here's the other thing about this whole thing that, alluding to your thing right here, is the great thing about this is it doesn't actually have to be Punk because obviously he's hurt. But if he's covered up completely, like when he came out for that indie show and gave the GTS, right? He doesn't even have to do the GTS, obviously, because that would give it away. But if he just comes out completely covered and hits him with the fucking diamond ring, like if he takes the diamond ring from the corner or from the ring, or from the table outside by the ring bell or something, like that's where MJF keeps it. Like, there's a point in the match where MJF puts the ring on, he's going to hit him, and he decides not to. The ref fucking sees it on the ground, the ref puts it in his pocket. There's a ref bump later in the match. Punk comes out dressed all up, hidden, knows where the fucking ring is because we all just saw it, goes into the ref's pocket, picks it up, hits Moxley, which makes sense because he just lost the title to Moxley, or had to drop the title again to Moxley, twice in a row, vacated to fucking Moxley, right? So it makes sense that way too, and then eventually we find out it's Punk. But the only issue with this conspiracy theory, dude, is it's still so long before he can come back from his injury. Now, the reports are he's doing well with his injury, but he's also 40-something years old. It's not going to heal like John Cena coming back for the Royal Rumble in New York.
That's part of it too. They have said multiple times that his injury is coming along really well. And the thing about a triceps tear is it actually doesn't take as long as they were saying. They were saying like 8 months. It's not that long. The triceps tear is not that fucking long to recover from, even at his age.
But yes, I agree with the other thing that you said before, and we're going to wrap up the show right quick because that was our last prediction. I'm going to run down the predictions. It should be fairly easy because we only picked 2 different matches. But the other thing is, I agree with you. Like, if he comes in and does that apology, there is some truth to that type of an apology if he was sincere about it. Because, like, dude, if you were in his shoes and you knew, like, let's say, and you're saying that he did know, and I'm not sure if he did or not. He clearly knew something was wrong because of the way he was holding his arm. We were talking about it while we were watching it, right? Me and you knew that. We didn't know the extent of it. But if you knew you were going to have to fucking drop this title again after you just got it back, after you just did all that shit with your foot to come back, and you fucking had to do that, and you knew you were dropping it again, yeah, I'd be fucking pissed too. Like, I'd be agitated. Now, that's not a reason to go off and say the shit that he said, but man, that would make me automatically not in a good mood too, because you know what everybody's gonna say when you have to come out on Dynamite and drop it again. The shit that they basically did say, oh, he's washed. He's not fucking washed, dude.
Yeah, he's a little washed.
Come on, man. He's not washed.
He's a little washed.
He's not washed, dude.
He's a little washed.
The dude was not wrestling for 7 years.
Go watch him do a buckshot Larry and tell me he's not washed, okay?
Dude, don't start your shit. Don't start your shit.
Washed.
Don't start your shit.
Paul made him look like an amateur.
Well, we all know that's bullshit because, oh, by the way, we're going to talk about that tomorrow too because there's reports now that Logan Paul didn't really tear anything.
I mean, they could have diagnosed it as a tear at the time and found out later it was just strained or whatever.
Okay, but we did say that me and you both do think that he did it on the buckshot Larry.
Buckshot,
which I still stand behind. If he did get hurt, it was on that because you could just tell it was weird. But anyway.
Also, hey, real quick. So once full range of motion is restored, strengthening exercises can begin, usually at 4 to 6 months after injury for a full tricep tear.
So you're saying even if it was somebody even if they went that way and had somebody come out dressed all up or whatever, it could technically still be Punk?
It could still be Punk.
That'd be interesting. That would be interesting. We'll see tonight, man. I'm very excited for this, even though we feel like we pretty much know what's going to happen for all the matches. The great thing about AEW is you really don't.
To be clear, I don't think any of that shit's gonna happen with CM Punk. That's just
no, I
that's
agree.
just a
No.
conspiracy.
No, definitely conspiracy. No, anyone comment on here and be like, "Oh, this aged well," because we're not actually thinking that's going to happen. But we're saying it is out there in the universe. Yeah, for sure. Like, because the other thing about it is what like Bix and everybody else is saying is like, it's very interesting that the Elite is coming back, and obviously they were cleared in any wrongdoing, so that kind of makes sense. But the time frame is, if the Elite's back, then that means the investigation's over. The investigation is over, then there is ways to play this. So even if you kept Punk suspended, there is a way to just throw a random dude out there in a fucking disguise.
And then retcon
and then eventually have it be
Punk.
Punk. Yes, exactly. For sure. You could always set it up. And we've seen Tony Khan, we've seen MJF, and we've even seen CM Punk in past promotions work you motherfuckers like crazy, even if it didn't start out as one, right? So it's not out of the realm of possibility. I agree with you, but no, we do not think it's going to happen.
The one thing working against that though is that I feel like if they were still working shit out with Punk, he had a possibility of coming back, anything like that, they would not have taken him off the cover of that fucking game. He's too big a name to take off the cover of the game.
I agree with that. That is concerning, but let's just say they were all in cahoots. And no part of Punk think that's like a Punk call, like that's his idea.
Maybe, but I mean, it's
because how hardcore him and MJF go hardcore with these storylines that they are trying to turn into like real life situations. Like they're hardcore. Like MJF, you noticed that he said on one of those podcasts that he did after he came back, how he didn't go anywhere. Like he literally stayed in the house and had his girlfriend, now future wife or whatever. Are they married?
I think they're married. I think they might have just gotten engaged.
They're definitely engaged. But anyway, he literally had her go out and do stuff and get everything and stuff, and he would not come out of the house to keep kayfabe. So there are like still people out there that are hardcore about kayfabe. So it's not out of the realm of possibility there either. But I agree with you. Like if people are asking if Punk is still going to be in the game at the scrum, and then Tony Khan says yes, I think that's good enough.
Well, I think that
when that starts circulating,
he probably already signed whatever licensing shit to have that happen. So it's not like he would be able to take himself out.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think he's going to be in the game. I'm just saying for the cover reasons. Like if you know you're going to be in the game anyway, and they took him off the cover, to add fuel to the fire of this whole situation, I could see that happening. But we already said at the very beginning of this, especially me, I said I could see a scenario where he came back, but he would, like you said, have to man up, admit to your fucking mistakes, grow the fuck up. You have to talk to Colt, bro. Like there's no way around it at this point. You got to talk. You definitely got to talk to Paige. You definitely got to talk to Omega if you haven't already, which I'm sure he's at least talked to Omega, because Omega's just too nice of a dude. You've got to fix the situation with the Bucks. The Bucks, by the way, both still follow him on Instagram, and for what that's worth, just so you know. So it's whatever. But Matt Jackson, who the one is that he's Sucker Punch, still follows him on Instagram. I know for sure. So, I mean, you never know, man. You never know what could happen with this kind of shit. They say time heals all wounds, but some of them are going to take a lot more time than others. Just saying.
Well, time is one thing, but literally, he's just got to go and fucking.
But the other time, the only time thing that's working in his favor right now is that he got hurt.
Yeah.
If he didn't get hurt, I don't think he would come back. I think it would be over. I think he would have gotten released, honestly.
Yeah, probably.
We'll see. I hope everybody enjoys Full Gear tonight. I know I will. This is the earliest I've ever ordered a pay-per-view. I ordered it like 3-4 days ago, dude. So
I'll probably do it when I get off. Did you say they broke $1 million for the gate? Good for them.
Nice. Again, so they are still doing really good. We're going to talk about their ticket shit tomorrow.
Dude, I thought about going. I looked up plane tickets at like fucking 2:00 this morning. I was like, damn, it's only $418 round trip to Newark. I can get a hotel room for one night for like $120, and then tickets to the show, it's under $1,000 altogether. I thought about it. I was like, but then I have to take care of the dog and all that.
Tony said on Rampage that they extended some more seats out too, because they're like, oh yeah, it's like 96% sold out. That's because they opened up more seats. So
right.
So yeah, good for them. This will be like what, the first $1 million gate without Punk.
First Full Gear $1 million gate too, I think.
Yeah. I think they've only had 2 $1 million gates, if I'm not mistaken, 2 or 3. But I think they all involved Punk, so of course people associate it with the star power that he brought or whatever. But yeah, this is gonna be fucking nuts. So for all you haters out there,
We could do it without you.
No, not that. Just
Oh.
just just AEW is not in the mud. AEW is not dying. AEW is not going anywhere, like we always said. But we will talk some WWE tomorrow because I did watch Raw and SmackDown, so we'll get into that tomorrow. And of course, don't forget next week we're probably gonna have 2 shows as well because we gotta do Survivor Series predictions. That's next
Oh.
Saturday.
I predict it's gonna fucking suck because they don't do proper Survivor Series matches anymore.
It is gonna be War Games, and I am pretty stoked about that.
Mhm.
So we'll see. First War Games ever on actual WWE main roster, so that'll be sweet. So yeah, we'll talk about that tomorrow on the show, the full-fledged show. Hope you guys enjoyed this first ever prediction show on the new YouTube channel. It'll be on both channels before we switch over officially. So hope you guys find us over there. Like I said, links will be in the description below for the Twitch live show tomorrow and the YouTube and the merch. Enjoy the show, guys. It's gonna be fucking crazy. Excitement level 1 to 10.
8.
Yeah, 8 for me too. But the potential of us talking about it like for the entire show tomorrow and just kicking WWE off, 10.
Pretty
11.
high.
Yeah,
Pretty high.
it's pretty high. Like there is some
Yeah.
shit that could go down tonight. Like if Adam Cole comes back, if a mystery dude comes out, if all these conspiracy theories happen, Jeff Hardy comes out. You never know who the fuck's gonna come out, dude.
Yeah.
With all the shit that's going on and all the people that's been hurt that could potentially come back. House of Black could make an appearance after
Iris.
the trios match. Who?
Tyrus.
We'll talk about him tomorrow. We'll talk about that bullshit tomorrow.
NWA champion Tyrus makes
We'll
an
talk about
appearance.
that shit bullshit tomorrow. But anyway,
Yeah.
have a great rest of your weekend, guys. Enjoy the show tonight. This is the
Not-
MonsterCast. I'm Jack. That's Ryan. We're out. Deuces.